Hey guys, Chef Hawks here again. So we had a great donation made by one of our wonderful administrators, Mr. Farron. We've got lots of squash to be able to play with here. So we're going to work on some knife skills. Let's get down to some basics. Okay, so the first thing, obviously we always go for safety first. We've washed our hands, we've got a clean board to work with, and we've got a towel underneath our board so that our board won't move around. And so, we're going to take our washed vegetables. We're always washing our fruits and vegetables to make sure that they're all clean and ready for purpose. And so, what we'll work on first, let's do some batons of some of these products. So, we'll take off the top, and we're holding our knife between our thumb and forefinger, and then wrapping our fingers nice and comfortably around here. We're going to take off the top first, and then we're going to measure down. Let's go right around here. And then, as we can see, this is a cylinder. So we're going to take off the very edges here, just to try and block this off a little. So now, we can slice through, and we can slice through on here. A couple on this one. So we've got some Batonnet. So these are some nice batons. These can be used to enjoy as vegetable, or they can be enjoyed using as crudité if you're having some raw vegetable to be able to dip into various things as well. So let's go a little smaller now. So take another slice. Let's block ourselves off. And now we're going to go thinner on these. Once you have these thinner pieces, now what we can do is, and remember, when we're using our knife, in this motion, we're using our rocking motion. The blade will never actually completely leave the board. It runs from one end all the way through to the other, one end through to the other. And we're going to use this claw hand, so we have our thumb anchoring the vegetables down, and as a claw, we're going to hold on to this, and we're going to slowly allow our fingers to move inwards to allow the blade to come across, and this will guide our knife across as we go into the vegetable. So as we slice, pulling in just a touch at a time, so this ends up giving us these nice little batons, and we call this Julienne. And now we can then take, let's see, a piece of this, and if we go even finer, block off the edge there, and we literally go about as fine as you possibly can. Now this is a fine Julienne, where it's very, very thin strips. Okay, so let's work on some of our other dice now. So with dice, let's start off with the large dice. We move this over. So again, I'm going to block this off. And now with this, we're going to go once across, go across here again, and then we're literally just going to be able to get, well, let's see, we can just get a couple of these off. Be able to get a large dice. Finish this one too. So here we have our large dice. So then let's go with our medium dice. Again, we'll block this off. Now, any of this used product here, we can always look at the possibility of using these in stocks and sauces and soups as well. So this is never trash. Even the end pieces here, we can use those to go into our compost. So there's always a use for everything that we have here. So we're going to slice down a similar kind of way to what we were when we were doing our large batonnet. And so we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to slice and slice. So remember our batonnet? We've created more of our batonnet. Now we do one more step. And so we take these again with our claw, with my thumb behind, my claw right here to control, and I'm going to slice down to create a nice medium dice. And then after that, let's work on our small dice. So our small dice has a name called Brunoise. So what we're going to do, we have this slice like we did when we made our Julienne. We're going to go across and remember our rocking motion. We're making our matchsticks, our Julienne. Once we have our Julienne, we turn those again, even them up, and again with our claw, so that we have control, we're then going to slice them through to make them into a tiny dice. Rocking the blade all the time. And then we finish with this nice small dice called Brunoise. So now in between these two, we do have a small dice. So we have our Brunoise, small dice, medium dice, and large dice. So to do our small dice, we're going to, again, after we've finished blocking off our vegetable, we're going to slice ourselves in pieces here that are slightly thicker. They're thicker than the Brunoise, but they're smaller than our medium dice. And we'll go ahead and slice those into our batons. And then, again, using our claw, we're going to go through, even them all up at the end, but we're going to go through and dice these nice and evenly so that we have our medium, our small dice. So as you can see, they fit Brunoise, small, medium, and large dice. Okay, so now we have our courgette. You may know it better as a zucchini. In England, we actually call this a courgette, but zucchini, this is perfect for doing our next cut, which our next cut is the round cut. And so it's very simple. Again, we're using our claw, and if you find that this is rocking around, these actually have pretty good dimples on them that they're holding fairly well. But if you find that it's slipping around too much, you can always slice just a small little slice on the bottom that can help to stabilize it so that it's holding still, always looking at safety. So what we'll do, we'll actually hold it in place with our claw method, take off that end piece, and then after that we can make slices, just slicing this nice and evenly to make our rounds. And that's another knife cut. Okay, and so we have another round cut, but this cut is called a bias round cut. And so what we're going to do, when we say a bias, it means we're cutting it on an angle. We're actually going to show off the face of the vegetable product that we're cutting. So we will start, again, we're using a claw method to hold it in place. We're going to slice it down on an angle, and then we're going to continue to slice down on this, but keeping it on that angle. And so what we end up with is, instead of just the flat rounds, we end up with these nice oval shapes. So the last cut that I want to show you now, we're going to do a Paysanne. So a Paysanne is a square. So you can see we have the large dice, the medium dice, the small dice, which we're looking at Brunoise. But then we're also looking at Paisan. So again, let's block this off. And so then we're going to take that slice, and now we have that square again, that where we could have the dice again, except for this time we're going to slice it thinly all the way through. And so what this has created for us now are these lovely little squares. So as you can see, there's lots of different things to play around with. Every one of these is great because it helps you to work with your knife. This is an extension of your hand, and using it with your claw always gives you control. Have a go, play around with it. We really want to get our knife skills down so that way moving forward you can start to speed up. But always work with accuracy first before you try and ever work with speed. It's the prime key thing to you being able to advance.